Okay, tēnā koutou YouTube. So here we are having a look at what we're calling the Koru Lashing at the moment. It can go on a piece like this, or one with an open-ended koru, or anything that's got a bar on it really. It works well for that. So first step, we're going to use this piece here to create two of the plaits that come off this end. We've got another one for the other end. Now this is about just over 1 meter long, this piece here, which is what I like to go for. So hold the ends together, pull it through, so we're at halfway right here. Okay, so that's that piece. Now we've got the other one over here, and I'm using a third piece of cord now. 1mm wax polyester cord is what I use here. Now this one is longer. This is about 1.5, just over 1.5 meters, because this is going to have the third plait out this side with these two. The third one here is going to do all the knots in the middle, and then the third one strand for the plait on that side too. So he goes in, and he comes out to the same length as these ones here for the plait. Okay, so that's that length for that one. Right, now this is my long piece that I'm holding on to with my hand here, which is what's going to create the lashing and the knots. Now, the way I start this off, there's several ways you could do this, I'm sure. The way I'd like to do it is I go across the middle and then right around the 3 plaiting strands. Okay, so across the middle on the inside, right around it, all the way around. If I get my end, so I've gone all the way around, and I'm going to go back in through this side here. Okay, so we'll see we create a bit of figure 8 there, and that does sneak back in underneath this here to create a half hitch on this side. Okay, try and keep that aligned on the outside, keep it tidy. Let's see how that looks like when we tighten it up. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 in there. This one here comes right up, right around, down, and back up underneath. Okay, so that kind of secures the end, the edge. Now, there's a whole bunch of half hitches. So we go back in so it just came up this side, so we go back in the side that we just came out of. So we go in there, pull it all the way through. For example's sake this time, so all the way through, don't pull it tight yet. And then this is the end, that long one, then it goes back underneath through that hole there, and then we can pull it tight. And that creates the half hitch, like so. And the same thing, but in reverse from the other side. So we get our end again. So we just came up this side, so we go back in the side we came out. Pull it all the way through, leave that gap, slide that under, and we pull it tight. Alright, now we're starting to make the knots that will be going all the way across there. Right, do it one more time like that, and then we'll look at some other ways to make that knot. So we came up this side, so we'll go in there again, so all the way through, leave the hole, thread, and voila. Okay, so let me finish these ones off now. The more you understand the knot, the easier it can be to learn how to form it quickly. There's lots of different ways you could actually tie this and achieve the outcome. It's important to make sure you're keeping your knots nice and straight, make it look good. Cool, got a bit more room there to fill the knots in with. right side? Yes, I think it was. So just keep going along, alternating the sides to get that ridge look on the top. There. Could be a good chance now to skip ahead to the end if you got this part down. A few more. Okay, now I'm going to finish off on the other end now. Alright, so we've got our ridge across here with all our knots nice and tight. It's filled up all of our gap. So I get in my other 1 meter piece, just over 1 meter piece, which is going to be the other 2 strands coming off that side. Thread them through. Okay. Now at this stage, this one here, you should have plenty of length left over to make those 3 strands. If not, start again, because you kind of stuffed yourself in that part. So what we're trying to achieve here is tying this one off in a similar fashion to what we had earlier. So let's see if we can do that. So we want to go, it's going to be a bit tricky. Okay, so the way I'm finishing these off at the moment is start off with this, come straight off the ridge, around the back, we get the end of our long piece, the ridge one here, and we go back underneath there. Is that good? Yep. Okay, so we can see the 2 there. We're going back through this way. We don't want to tighten this up yet. We've got a few things line this up. So I'm going to keep holding on to these braided ones to try and keep a good visual for you. So we've gone back underneath there. Now we're going to go through underneath the pounamu, through the hole in the pounamu. Right. Kind of see what we've done now. Okay, how does that look on the... We've come back underneath. Now the last move is to go back up through your hole where the other plaiting strands are coming out. Pull that one right up. Right. So there's that knot now. And when you cinch that tight, it pulls it all together nicely, just like the other end. Voila. Right, so how's that looking? There we go, where's that focus? Alright, so next job is to plait. And with the 3 plait, what I've done here is you just get started, make sure that the start is nice and tight, and you get to work plaiting the strands. Oh, and jump ahead. So we've got one end done now, all plaited up. This little hobby vise is awesome for this stuff. It's just like a third hand. Real good for plaiting and doing those bit more complex lashings. I use it all the time for this stuff. But you can do it without it, of course. Just go work out how to make it work for yourself. Right, and then we plait the second side. It's a little bit loose there, so I'm just going to try and tighten that up a bit before I start plaiting. Where's the one that I can pull? It tightens them up. And you get one chance to make the stuff tight. Okay, that feels a bit better. make sure this plait here is real tight right at the start. That's better. Okay, so we've got two braided strands now. I've clipped the ends off. At about, let's get my very dirty ruler out here. That's just over 30 centimeters. It's about 35 centimeters of braided cord is what I use for this. All right, let's change angle. Move some things around here. Just for the finish off part, which is I'm creating the slip knots. So, how are we looking here? All right, so we're going to do these in black today. So I'll pull down some of my black cord. Now, if you're interested in and not sure about how to do any of the stuff, the plaiting or the tying of these slip knots, and you want to, I'm not going to go through it slow here. I'm just gonna do it so you can watch if you want to. But I will link in below the tutorials that I have made of how to make all of these. I think the tutorial, this one is called how to make or replace pendant necklace cord. What I'm doing right now is the whipping, which is on a separate video itself as well. It's easier to separate all these out. So I've got one for plaiting, one for doing a whipping, one for how to replace your necklace cord as well. Okay, that's the easy one done. Need a short piece of cord as a pull through for this one. Right, pull through goes there. Start wrapping this way. The second one is always the trickiest. You can't do a normal, well, can't do whipping the way I normally do them because you can't pull it off the end, which means you've got to pull it through. And I've been caught out quite a few times by doing the wraps too tight. So then when I go to pull it through, it doesn't work and it often snaps the cord. So I make these wraps a bit looser for this one. And often I can just pull it through with my hands. There you go. Well, look at that, good example of the pull through. Nice and slow. And we're done. the whipping in the right place. And make it tight. Alright, trim these off and see how it looks. Okay, so there's your 2 sliding bits. Like so. Down to the koru at the bottom. With our lashing on it. Choice. Right, give it a go. Drop me any questions in the comments. See the other links below in the description as well. If there's other bits you're not sure about. Nā mihi koutou, kia ora.